Hello everybody and welcome back to another video game analysis. Okay, so today we're going back to Pokemon, and I know I do Pokemon a lot, I know, but you know, there's a lot to do in Pokemon, and Pokemon's been a big part of my life, and one of those big parts of my life has been represented with one Pokemon, Pikachu. And it just makes you think, what led to these events that made Pikachu so incredibly popular? I left it over there. You'll see what it is. You see, Pokemon, Pikachu's been the face of Pokemon since forever now, and I just want to figure out why that is. They've been putting his face on hardware and toys and all sorts of mediums and outlets, and that's a trend that's continuing to this day. See, this is the thing I unprofessionally left over there. Yeah. It's crazy, so let's look into it.
Alright, pointing out the obvious. Obviously the anime gave Pikachu his spotlight, but what led them to that idea? That's what I'm wondering here. And it all boils down to the fact that there were 3 starters. Those would be great candidates for the face of Pokemon, but since different people picked different Pokemon, I for one picked Bulbasaur as my first starter, you know, it was hard to decide, and it would cause fights and arguments that made it clever to have a 4th Pokemon represent the main star. And in the anime, they chose Pikachu. Why is that? Well, I think it has to do with the fact that, well, here's an origin story. The first anime of the first manga, I should say, before the anime, Red's first Pokemon was a Clefairy in that title. Probably the same reason why they wouldn't put it in the anime. Probably the same reason why they wouldn't choose one of the stars for the anime, because people will fight about that and it'll cause all this stuff. So they just want one Pokemon as the face. So the thing with Clefairy not being chose over Pikachu, which was Red's second Pokemon, we'll discuss that in a bit. Pikachu represents something that became, when you see Pokemon, you know Pikachu, because Pikachu got the most starlight out of all Pokemon, and that's a trend that continues to this day. I mean, really what made me think about this in the first place was the fact that I was watching Pikachu represent Japan in the most recent Olympic Games, and wow, it's really incredible that a media outlet like that can exist, really, to the point where a fictional character is representing the Olympics, and it is really cool. And, you know, all that stardom with all the fame, it's something really, an honor to behold to a Pokemon, you know?
So once again, why not Clefairy? Well, I didn't want to say it in that bit, because I was really just about to make the point that the anime has Pikachu, and that is what led him to his goal of being the guy, the face of Pokemon, as the Pokemon mascot. And when you have a show, being a show star, I mean, this is the first Pokemon you see if you watch the anime first, and even if it isn't, you'll recognize Pikachu. He's a commonly used Pokemon in Gen 1 and onward. I have a Pikachu in Gen 6. Pikachu, well, I always evolved into Raichu, but which sounds like a no-no these days because of Pikachu's stardom and all. But getting to the point, Pikachu here, he was chosen to be the mascot, I think, because of his design. Because looking at the manga was a great idea, because the anime has the same issue the manga had. The design. Clefairy, like, I love Clefairy. I think Clefairy is a fantastic Pokemon, and I would have been really mad if they didn't make him a fairy type out of all the fairy types in the world to choose. But when you choose, but Clefairy, let's face it, Clefairy has a very more of a feminine quality as a Pokemon. The Pokemon really has more of a look of femininity, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. It's just, the problem is they want to explore all demographics. They want everybody to love Pokemon. So I think Pikachu is a much more logical choice, because Pikachu is a very neutral color as yellow, and it's a very, I think it can respond to both genders, especially for kids around 10 or 12, whatever, as they always try to explore a little bit. Pikachu, I think is a logical choice. That's all I can say. So let's move on to the next part.
So obviously we're going to look at the first Pokemon game. I mean, come on, really. This is the generation Pikachu came from. And what I really want to show is where you find a Pikachu. Actually, pretty early in the game. This is the Viridian Forest. I sped it up to save you some time because Pikachu is one of the rare finds in the Viridian Forest. In Viridian Forest, you find mostly Weedles, Caterpies, you know, we've all heard the story, if you're around my age anyway. I'm sure you have heard it anyway. So since Season 1 of Pokemon is now on Netflix. Yeah, but this is the place, if you, hopefully you don't skip too soon, because you want to find a Pikachu. It's a great early electric start, a great early electric Pokemon to grab, and in any Pokemon game, really, you want to look in the early areas as much as possible, because the rare Pokemon you can find there are usually worth the catch, and you usually end up keeping them throughout the game. In fact, that Raichu I'm using right now on screen was a Pokemon I caught right here, and if you watched my Pokemon Red Let's Play, you've obviously seen that. But yeah, once I find a Pikachu, I get excited, and I always make sure I pick it up. And I think that's another reason why the manga chose to have Pikachu as a second starter, as a second Pokemon for Red. Because in that early manga, Red, I never read it, but Red having Clefairy, and then going on his journey, I'm assuming he's starting from Pallet Town, he moves on to the Viridian Forest, where he finds a Pikachu, out of great luck, you know? And that's what makes me believe, that's what leads me to believe they chose Pikachu as a second Pokemon. Which again brings me to the anime, where they decided to make him the first Pokemon, because, well, Pikachu is a his appearance doesn't go towards one gender. But anybody can say, I want a Pikachu, because that thing is cool. Yeah. You know, even with my Raichu, I gotta catch another Pikachu. Because, you know, that is how cool it is.
So we pretty much solidified why Pikachu was chosen on a media outlet through graphic novels or manga, just so I don't PO a lot of manga fans. I read a manga now and then, so don't hurt me. And the Pokemon anime. That'll always defend as anime. A lot of people believe it's a cartoon, but, you know, it's an anime. Yeah, but that can't be it, right? I mean, why is it all over now? Why is it Pokemon in general? Because Pokemon's a big medium. Even today, I mean, nothing will be ever bigger than Pokemania. Nothing will ever beat Pokemania. And nothing will over Pokemania in popularity ever again. This thing was a worldwide phenomenon. We talked about it in the past. But today, focusing on this topic alone, how do you go over to having Pikachu just be all over the place? He could have just stuck to comics and cartoons while the games followed a different medium, and they do. They try to tie Ash into the games, but frankly, that could never work. And they're both separate canons. They're both loosely based off each other, where the games come first and the anime comes second. But, you know, it just continues on. Why Pikachu? And I think the answer is clear. Because Pikachu got so much attention from the TV show that the games wanted to give it a shot and give him some notoriety too. Because kiddies react to the fact, or even Pokemon fans, you know, they react to the fact when they see Pikachu, they recognize Pikachu. And it's a Pokemon that's it's like, remember we discussed in the past about having a video game character's face on something convinces you and ensures you the promise that this game will be great. Mario is a great example of that. When we see Mario's face, we're pretty confident. Or Kronos. When we see Kronos, we're pretty confident we're going to have a really cool game in store for us, you know? And that is what Pikachu is. With all the choices of Pokemon out there, it's perfectly logical to make sure you have one Pokemon forever, to this day, where Pikachu is still on top. And I think because Pikachu got his own games, that he crossed into the video game medium in order to cement that. Because you want to cement that mascot, so you only need one Pikachu. In fact, any large medium needs one Pikachu. I'll go as far as to say that. We had games like Hey You Pikachu and whatnot, which is alright. I still have all that. I was thinking about dusting it off one day. But until then, let's enjoy some footage from Pokemon Yellow and talk about that in general.
So yeah, Pokemon Yellow. I definitely think this confirms my idea of the games wanting to solidify Pikachu's fame from the anime, because this game was made to be Gen 1, but to be more focused on the anime, especially with Pikachu being the star. I mean, look at his opening animation. This is all about Pikachu, with him riding a surfboard like the Adam West Batman, and flying in Animal Crossing Villagers Up B from Super Smash Bros. 4. Yeah, and look how cool he looks. He's so awesome. Yeah, the first Pokemon game for Pikachu is Pokemon Yellow. This also marked the first ever special edition, and a trend I'm very glad exists because special editions rock. And they always just happen to come out, either that or a remake just happens to come out right before I'm ready for a new Pokemon adventure, because it's weird how it works. I actually did want to buy Pokemon Y right before Omega Ruby and Aqua Sapphire was announced, but yeah, it didn't work out that way, did it? So yeah, we get a little cool opening here, and they couldn't get it exactly the anime, but it is based off the anime, which I really enjoy. I thought that was a really cool idea, and yeah, I think it definitely solidified Pikachu's fame along with other games, his appearances in the Stadium games, his appearances in games like Pokemon Channel, Hey You Pikachu. Pikachu's face ended up being everywhere. There's a Pikachu in every stage of Pokemon Snap, and if you watch my walkthrough on that, I'm pretty sure I showed every Pikachu there is. Pikachu can exist everywhere, apparently, in the Pokemon world. And I can see that, being he's an electric mouse. That's what Pika and Chu mean, electric mouse. Yeah, there's your tidbit of the day. But like I said, I think this is a great confirmation of the fact that, okay guys, they're probably, all the game developers are together on a team. They're like, okay guys, we figured this out. Pikachu is getting really, really, really popular, so let's work with that. Let's just roll with it. Because not only that, but if we do this, we're going to add more Pokemon. We're probably going to get up to like 700 one day. So, it's going to get confusing, and who are we going to choose every time? We have a go-to guy now. We have Pikachu. Let's roll with that, and I like that. And one last thing I want to talk about, especially just shown in this game, is Pikachu is also a rebel. He was actually a very individual of a Pokemon. He was a big individual Pokemon out of all their Pokemon, because he's the only Pokemon we have ever seen that didn't like its Pokeball and didn't want to stay in its Pokeball. So let's just get to that scene right now. I skipped this battle because we've seen that in the first bit. That's what I call them, bits, so don't yell at me. Whittly, 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 woo. Okay. So yeah, let's just explain this right now. Pikachu doesn't like to be in his Pokeball. I think that was a really cool idea because it just made him more of an individual. Just like that. And the fact that you can check his mood and everything in this game was a very cool idea to introduce Pokemon chemistry. And it's just one of the things that led to Pokemon modernizing into the strategic platform it is today.
So I hope that summed it up for you. Yep. So that's what makes me lead me to believe that how Pikachu became the mascot of Pokemon. And I think it's pretty clear. That being said, next week, I want to talk about... We haven't done a character analysis in a while. That's much of my favorite thing to do here. So, next week... Yeah, I'm stupid. Hang on, let me fix my... Next week, we're going to talk about Rosalina from the Mario series. Someone I've grown very fond of ever since Galaxy, and someone I'm very glad is being more involved in the Mario franchise in general. So, yes, we will take a look at... we will do a character analysis on Rosalina next week. Thank you guys for watching. I've been Billy, your video game analyzer, and I'll see you next time.
Once again, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. Yep, got our end slates. Still excited about doing this because it makes me feel all professional. But what I want to talk about is, please, if you like what you saw, please help me out. Give me a like. I would love to hear your comments. If I missed something, which I do quite often, I'd love to hear what you guys, if you guys can fill in any information I missed out on. I got that last video. It was very exciting, and some videos in the past, so let's keep that going. Thank you guys again, and have a good one.